Hey, what's up? Let's dive into the recent buzz about Germany's recent boycott of Tesla and Europe's recent boycott of generally most US products. And as you can imagine, it's a mix of politics, worker issues, and environmental concerns, so buckle up. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. First off, Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla, has been making big waves in German politics. In late 2024, he openly supported the far-right Alternative for Deutschland AfD party.
I'm very excited for the AfD. And I think you are really the best hope for Germany. I think some things that something I think that is just very important is that people take pride in Germany and being German. This is very important.
This didn't sit well with many Germans, leading to a significant drop in Tesla's image and sales. In fact, in February of this year, Tesla's sales plummeted by 76%, with only 1,429 units sold in Germany. Over at Tesla's Gigafactory in Berlin, things aren't really going too smoothly over there. More than 3,000 workers signed a petition demanding better work conditions, citing issues like not even having enough time for bathroom breaks. The union IG Metall has accused Tesla of intimidating its workers and ignoring labor rights. Now, environmental concerns also added more fuel to the fire. Hear me out. Environmentalists and locals are up in arms about the Gigafactory's impact on the area. Concerns include deforestation, water usage, and threats to wildlife. And as you can imagine, protests have been ongoing, with activists even setting up tree houses to block expansion plans. Now, I know you guys have probably seen in the headlines about the vandalism and public backlash Tesla has been receiving. The public sentiment towards Tesla has turned so sour that there are increased instances of vandalism towards the company's products. In fact, in March of this year, 4 Tesla vehicles were set on fire in Berlin, possibly as a form of protest against Elon Musk's political involvement. And it's not just individuals. Businesses are also starting to distance themselves from Tesla as well. Companies like Rossmann, a pharmacy chain, have decided to sell off their Tesla fleets, citing a mismatch between Musk's statements and corporate values. Now, the boycotts aren't limited to just Tesla products, but have expanded to pretty much almost every US product. In recent months, a significant movement has been advocating for the boycotting of US products. This development is rooted in a political interplay of political tensions, economic policies, and public sentiment. So here is a comprehensive examination of all the factors contributing to this political phenomenon, the responses from various stakeholders, and the broader implications for trade relations. Okay, so the current calls of boycotting US goods in Germany spark memories from the pork war in the late 19th century. Yes, the pork war. During the 1880s, Germany, along with 9 other European nations, imposed bans on American pork imports, citing health concerns over trichinosis. However, underneath these claims were economic motives aimed at protecting domestic farmers from the influx of inexpensive American pork. Now, this dispute escalated until 1891, when US President Benjamin Harrison threatened to retaliate by embargoing Germans' sugar beets, leading to Germany lifting the ban. Those that don't know what embargo is, it's basically a government restriction on products. Okay, so fast forward to 2025, and the landscape of German-US trade relations is once again strained. The administration of the US President Donald Trump has implemented 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum imports, affecting global markets and prompting swift responses from international partners.
This will continue to spur growth like you haven't seen. Before I was elected, we were losing all of our plants. They were being built in Mexico and Canada and other places. Now those plants largely have stopped and they're moving them to our country. In Indiana, the great state of Indiana, I love Indiana. Honda is building one of the biggest plants anywhere, and they've just started. They wouldn't have done it without this. In all cases, they wouldn't have done it without what we're doing.
Well, there's been a response from Europe, with the EU promising to protect its workers and consumers. Ursula von der Leyen, President of the European Commission, said, "I deeply regret the US decision to impose tariffs on European automotive exports." She went on to say tariffs are taxes, bad for businesses, worse for consumers, equally in the US and in the European Union.
Now, As you can imagine, the European Union, with Germany as a key member, has announced retaliatory measures, including tariffs on $28 billion of US goods. Now, at the end of the day, the people have to pay for this, not the companies, not the big companies. The people have to pay for this. So the American citizens are not looking too happy right now, and the world is looking at America like America's lost its mind. And all of this is set to commence, oh my gosh, like in a few days. The political discord has permeated public sentiment, leading to grassroots movements advocating for the boycotting of US products. And social media has become a hub for organizing these efforts. For instance, a Reddit forum named Buy from EU has attracted approximately 189,000 members discussing alternatives for US brands. America, we are cucked. In Denmark, similar sentiments have led consumers to actively avoiding American goods, a movement that has gained traction around Europe and even Canada. This collective consumer resistance reflects widespread discontent with the US political actions and corporate affiliations. Now, American companies, specifically those that have a significant presence in Europe, are experiencing a lot of repercussions from these boycotts. And as mentioned earlier, Tesla has seen a significant decline in market share since the inception of these boycotts. Despite the growing support for boycotting US products, official responses from German authorities and trade organizations have been very cautious. In fact, Germany has rejected such calls for these boycotts, emphasizing maintaining good trade relations with the United States, which is ironic because the United States is not trying to maintain good trade relations with anybody else, it seems, at this point, from what we've seen on the news, right? Like, I can't be alone here. Government spokesperson Stefan Hebestreit stated, "We don't need more trade barriers. We need fewer," highlighting a preference of dialogue over punitive measure, which again, very ironic considering that America doesn't seem to be moving in that direction at all. Similarly, the Federation of German Wholesale, Foreign Trade and Services, the BGA, has warned against escalating trade tensions through these boycotts. BGA President Dirk Yandere remarked that these boycotts would actually be a false response to political disagreements and advocated for seeking dialogue with the United States to address transatlantic trade issues. And speaking of which, the push to boycott US products in Germany reflects deeper issues in the transatlantic trade relations. While consumer actions signal public dissatisfaction with US policies, official channels highlight the complexities of international trade and the potential economic fallout from escalating these disputes. You can kind of see where I'm headed here. The situation underscores the delicate balance between political expression and economic pragmatism in global trade dynamics. So in short, Germany's move to boycott US products is a multifaceted issue rooted in historical precedents, but highlighted and amplified by recent events in the current US administration. And while consumers express their discomfort through these boycotts, political officials in Germany and Europe alike are trying to implement some kind of damage control in hopes of generating a dialogue to mitigate the blowback of the boycotts and these trade tensions between the US and the EU, or basically everybody at this point. And as it pertains to Tesla, all of these factors, including controversies like labor disputes, environmental concerns, and public backlash, have reinforced everyone's support in boycotting Tesla in Germany. And pretty much at this point, a lot of the world. It's a complex issue that highlights what happens when corporate values and public values clash. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you agree or disagree with what's going on? I think personally this is very unfortunate, and I hope we get down to the bottom of this sooner than later, but it seems like every day is a new DLC update for things we did not want to have happen. Let me know how you feel in the comments down below. I'll see you in the comment section. Take care, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you real soon. Peace.